Recording. All right, welcome everybody. I will get us going here. My name is Caleb Talley. I'm the Director of Marketing and Events for the Startup Junkie Foundation. We appreciate you for joining us for our first session of the Her Entrepreneur Journey all-day celebration. It's Women's History Month, and we're excited to celebrate our women entrepreneurs. If you're not familiar with Startup Junkie, we're a mission-driven, high-impact organization based here in Northwest Arkansas. Startup Junkie supports, inspires, and educates entrepreneurs and innovators by providing no-cost one-on-one consulting, events, workshops, programs, just like this one here today. Hopefully you'll be here with us all day today. Well, not all day, at noon and then at 4. And then we try to remove barriers for historically underserved populations by democratizing access to entrepreneurial resources and providing strategic support to any individual seeking to establish or grow their business. Though only about 25% of small businesses in Arkansas are owned by women and 14.7% are owned by minorities. Almost half of nearly 1,000 clients we support each year are women, minority, or veteran, and that number continues to grow. I'm excited to introduce you to my colleague this morning who will be leading today's session. Martha Londagin is an executive business consultant with the Startup Junkie Foundation, where she also serves as the Capital Access Manager for the Northwest Arkansas Kiva U.S. Microloan Program. She's a former small business banker and attorney, and she's very active with many Northwest Arkansas chambers of commerce and networking groups in the region. Her series is brought to you by Bank OZK, but I'm going to turn it over to Martha to let her take it from here. Martha?
Thank you, Caleb. Good morning, everyone. Glad you're joining us. And yes, I like to mention right at the beginning, like Caleb said, probably tomorrow morning, since we're going to finish up late today with our last session from 4 to 5, Caleb will send you an email and you will get a PDF copy of all of the slides that I present. So I'm doing this one from 9 to 10, just getting your business off the ground or taking your side hustle to the next level. And Trish McCollum, who is with us today, Trish will be speaking when I get to the section on banking. It's been my experience that small business owners have not investigated how much their local bank, their local community bank, not an online bank, but one with live humans, can help them with their business management through services that are often free associated with your checking accounts. Then at noon, I'm going to let her say hello in just a second. Morgan Scholes, who is with our Startup Junkie team, we're going to just do a networking. We just want you to pop on from noon to 1 and introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your business idea or what business you're in. So Morgan, you want to say hi to everybody?
Yes, good morning. I'm Morgan Schultz, and I have the privilege and honor of working with Martha and the rest of the great Startup Junkie team. And so, yeah, I hope you all join us for noon and invite all of your women friends. Everybody's got a business idea, and networking is the greatest way. We are so often each other's greatest resource. And so the most wonderful connections and inspirations and encouragement often happens through networking. And Martha has some awesome prizes. So there will be prizes. So join us at noon, and thanks for being here. Thanks, Martha.
Yes, today at each session from 9 to 10, and then from noon to 1 with Morgan, and then 4 to 5 with me and Bank OZK again. Lance Sexton will be on to talk about SBA loans. We're going to give away a gift certificate to either Baked by Corey or Florence and Flint Cookie Company or Cakes with a Kick. So everybody, you're going to win a $40 gift card if you're on the session and you live in Northwest Arkansas. We're going to give that away. And so you can see that Trish is on. Trish is a vice president with Bank OZK. She's a real person. She's located in Fayetteville out on Weddington. Trish, you want to just say hi for now?
Yes, hi, good morning. Trish McCollum with Bank OZK, and I look forward to speaking with you and hearing a little bit.
Yeah, and so like I said, live bankers to help you. That's what we like. And Bank OZK is the sponsor of this Her Entrepreneur Journey series for the whole year. We're going to have lots of different, we're in the early planning stages to have a live networking event in Springdale. So do follow us on Facebook or check on our website occasionally to see, and we'll have drinks and snacks and lots of people and give you an update on all the entrepreneur activities in downtown Springdale. And it'll just be pure networking, women to get to talk to each other and find out what's going on the business scene in Northwest Arkansas. So we'll be doing these events all year long due to the Bank OZK sponsorship for 2021. And Bank OZK is an Arkansas bank. They've gotten really big. They're regional. Started in 1903 in Northwest Arkansas, and they're now in over 250 locations across the U.S. So they offer wonderful, true community resources. And I know the whole team there. I know Odwin Bond, the market president for this area. They have a true commitment to women and to supporting all business owners at every level possible. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I want to show you, I'm going to screen share, and you know, we have to pause and wait. Sorry, thought I had my website queued up and I did not. So this is our Startup Junkie website. You can go there anytime and check and click on the About Us and our team, and it takes you to all of our profiles and our contact info. You can go here and read about our different programs, and there we have events. And so when you click on that, you're going to get a big smattering of all of our Eventbrites for networking events and education events. I also want you to always remember to scroll down here. There's our Facebook, which we post daily, what's going on, free information, and really importantly is our YouTube channel. So this is the button that will take you to our YouTube channel. And I hope everybody's seeing what I'm talking about. Does everybody see the YouTube channel now? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Yes?
Yes.
So if you go to our YouTube channel for Startup Junkie and click videos, this is where the video of these sessions today will be loaded by Caleb tonight. You can see here, I did a Her Entrepreneur Journey about using LinkedIn to grow your business. Also part of our Bank OZK series, so you could go there and watch that if you weren't able to attend it last month. So we just want you to know about all these resources. A video that I did about starting a business, and this one about financing options we're doing later today. Those are both loaded here already, small business loan funding and getting your business idea off the ground. So you can always click on those and share them with people. So I like to keep everybody up to date on that as well. Sorry. And now I'm going to get into our presentation. All right, so hopefully everybody, somebody give me a thumbs up. You can see the slideshow. So this is the Woman Entrepreneur's Roadmap to getting your business off the ground. One thing we didn't mention is, yes, I am also a small business owner with my husband. I'm a 6th generation small business owner in Northwest Arkansas and Northeast Oklahoma. So my background is English education and law, and a lot of banking law. But all of the information I share with you about how to grow your business and be successful with your business is really based upon the hundreds and hundreds of business owners I have worked with in Northwest Arkansas and Northeast Oklahoma. So when I tell you something, it doesn't mean I'm the world's expert. I'm going to tell you what I've seen work for them, but it's your journey and your decision about how to guide your business. Once again, this is a whole series for 2021, so we'll have lots of events, so keep checking back with us. Caleb mentioned in the intro that only 25% of small businesses in Arkansas are owned by women. Our governor in 2017 redefined the Arkansas Economic Development Commission division for minority businesses to include women. And so that is a big focus for us as entrepreneur ecosystem builders, and it is a focus for our state. We want more women. If women are 50% of our population, then our population should match those numbers in business ownership. Whatever percentage of our population is Black or Hispanic or Latino or Latina, that should match. Because if it does not, that means there is something wrong systemically, and the state of Arkansas is very committed to growing those types of businesses in Arkansas. And we at Startup Junkie, that's our mission, is to help all people in Arkansas grow small businesses. There's a link in this, and you'll get a copy of it. You can type it in. I wrote an article with the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal based upon my knowledge of the history of women in business and why we still need these specialized programs for women, for Black-owned businesses, for Hispanic-owned businesses. We need to all specifically understand how historical discrimination in the United States has affected these populations, and we need to do all that we can, because we truly believe at Startup Junkie that entrepreneurship improves lives, families, and communities, and we want this for all of our residents in Arkansas. In Northwest Arkansas, when you get this slide deck, it'll have a whole list for you of resources, or you can reach out to us on our website and book a meeting with me or Morgan. You can just scroll down to meet our team and book a meeting, and we will connect you. That's our job, is to connect people. Our Startup Junkie team doesn't know every single thing in the whole world about small business ownership. And we don't know everything about entrepreneurship, but there are other people that provide other resources that do, and that makes sense. It makes no sense for the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, the Walton Family Foundation, to fund us to do something that the ASBTDC, the Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, does. We don't have a commercial kitchen here to help you figure out how to package your cookies, like some of the cookie companies I'm going to give away today. But I sent all of them to the Arkansas Food Innovation Center at the U of A. So there are lots of great resources. The PTAC office in Bentonville, the Procurement and Technical Assistance Center, I send people there to Max Franks to get help with bidding on government contracts. There are government contracts that are set aside for woman-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, disabled veteran businesses. And so Max can teach you for free, he's an employee of the state of Arkansas, how to get set up and bid on government contracts for tech services, for landscaping, for embroidery, for food, for the prison system. And Arkansas Food Innovation Center is there. They are at the University of Arkansas, and they can help people with non-meat packaged food good labels. Also, these are some networking groups locally in Northwest Arkansas, and they're starting to open back up where women can come together. All of them are usually free. Sometimes there's a charge for your lunch, like the WIN group that meets monthly in Rogers, like the Siloam Springs Women in Business group. They have online meetings and they meet in person. I go over to Siloam and meet with those women sometimes. Hustle and Heels is a women's group that meets quarterly. In fact, I think they're having an online presentation today and another event tomorrow night. So you can go to the Rogers Lowell Area Chamber of Commerce website and check out their Hustle and Heels events. You do not have to be a chamber member to be involved. And sometimes those events have over 100 women at them. And I helped work in a very small way with the chamber on developing that group for women. Conexión de Negocios is a wonderful group run by a woman in Springdale that empowers and supports Hispanic and Latina women in business. And then there's some national groups there for you as well. So preparing to launch. So it's hard to have a 1-hour webinar that applies to everything about having a small business. And that's why I do have the video that's 2 hours long on YouTube you can watch also. But I want to talk about planning. And so one of the ways that we really like, you can see here on the screen, is this one-page lean canvas map. Now, I'll talk a little bit later about a full business plan and how you can go to the Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, which is just located 2 blocks north of us. Here, I'm at our office that is located on the square in Fayetteville, the historic square on the east side. And they can help you with a more formal business plan with cash flow projections and market research. But we like everyone to at least fill out one of these one-page lean canvas plans. Even if you've been operating your business for a few months or a couple years out of your home, you need to sit down and make sure that, look up there on the left, what's the problem? What's the need of society or your community that you're serving? What's the solution that your product or your service offers? And the one in the middle is the one that's most important to me, the unique value proposition. Maybe you've been working at a nail salon for years. You have a great customer base. You're awesome. You know, you're really, really good at what you do. You may be the, the jail nails queen of Northwest Arkansas. You are just so good at what you do. But if you're going to go open your own salon, just being good is not enough. There's going to have to be something unique about the new nail salon that you want to open. Perhaps it's that you're going to be in South Fayetteville where there's only one or two. Perhaps it's that you have better parking. Perhaps you're going to offer additional services to make it easier or less expensive for women to come and men, and maybe you're going to have a special section that's just for men. I don't know, but what's unique about it? It can't just be that you're good at what you do and there are lots of businesses like yours doing well. There has to be something unique. And so unfair advantage is the section about why are you special? What's unfair about you digging into that market, that you've got some special product or service that goes with yours. So this is something that we're happy to send out to people if you want to book an appointment with us, or you can type in Lean Canvas on Google and you will find that. So we consider this to be like the one-page business plan. Your experience in the industry, that is very important. Morgan and I can tell you, we get calls from people all the time who are perhaps exiting a corporation, or they just moved, or they lost their job recently, and they say, I've always dreamed of owning a coffee shop, or I've always dreamed of owning a little women's boutique. That's great, and we're here to help you, but what's your experience in retail? What's your experience in food sales? What's your experience with coffee? We've got a lot of really fabulous rock and roll coffee shops in Northwest Arkansas. So just because you love coffee, we may need to pull back a little bit and make sure you actually have some experience in that area. And then in general, what's your experience with business? What's your experience with keeping business books and marketing? So all of those things are important. You can have other people to help you with the daily operations. You can hire an accountant and a bookkeeper to help you, but you have to understand the process. You as the business owner wear all the hats. What's the status of the local industry? Sometimes I'll have people call me and say, I want to open this kind of business in this part of Springdale. And I'll say, that's great. But you do know right down the road on Crossover is another business just like that, right? So how are you going to be able to invade that market when there's already one there? And it always kind of pains me a little bit when they say, oh, well, I didn't know that store was there. You need to understand your market better than anyone else. If you're going to open a fried chicken food truck in Northwest Arkansas, you need to know the food truck layout. You need to have spent the time to drive all around, visit all the food truck courts, Google search, look at the Northwest Arkansas food truck owners Facebook page group, join that. You need to know that food truck industry better than anyone else. And especially if you're seeking a loan, your banker is going to expect you to be a person that knows their industry very well. The market size matters. Maybe you've seen a business in Chicago that sounds wonderful, but that's a lot bigger place than Northwest Arkansas. So you have to do a lot of research, and we can help give you ideas about that. Is there a demand for your product or service? Morgan and I, our whole team, Taylor also is on our team, our foundation director. We work with people all the time on customer development. If you have an existing business and you want to add an extra service or add an extra product, you need to do some customer research. You need to set up a free online survey that you can send out a link to people and ask them, do you think there's a need for this product? How much would you pay for it? How often would you buy it? Your banker, especially if you're going to a bank for a loan, expects you to be able to prove how much of this product you're going to sell. Yes, it's somewhat of an unknown, but you should have some data that proves why you think it's going to be successful. And once again, know your competition. Be able to defend why your business is going to be able to compete in the market. Financing needs, there's a lot of work to start a business or taking a side hustle business to the next level, to open a small store, or to open a pop-up section in an existing store, or to start selling online or go into the Fayetteville Farmers Market. You need to know what those startup costs are going to be for you. And that's a lot of research. That's checking with insurance agents about insurance if that's going to be needed, especially if you have a risky business, about build out costs, equipment, marketing, website, setting up the books for the business. If you've been a DBA and now you're going to need to become an LLC because your business is riskier with the public coming in, you have to contact an attorney and find out what it's going to cost to set that up. We at Startup Junkie have lists of Northwest Arkansas attorneys, accountants, contractors, insurance agents that we are happy to share with you. They are small business providers who have contacted us or our clients have used them. And then we have been able to connect them. We also have a list of what I think is every bank in Northwest Arkansas that does small business, SBA loans especially. And it has a person's name and a contact number. So we're happy to help you put all those startup costs together. You have to be able to project out how much you think you're going to sell, what the cost of that sale of goods or that service is, to make sure you have enough money to operate the business continually, at least for the first 2 to 3 years. So talking about the entity type, on the left are entities where you become an owner, a legal owner, and you have a new title. A C Corp is going to be rare. I've never met with anyone, and we're only going to talk C Corp if you're a huge business. That's more than 100 shareholders. That's like Best Buy, Walmart, when businesses go public. S Corps are still also pretty rare. The whole reason that we created in the 1980s in Arkansas and throughout the country the LLC is because corporations are very complicated. You have articles of incorporation, you have a lengthy set of bylaws, you have required meetings you have to have of all the officers, you have to elect officers, you have to keep a minute book that documents every meeting, and everybody gets shares and they can sell their shares, which means you can't sometimes control who owns control of your company. In Arkansas, I typically only see S Corps with farms, especially like family farms, where they're divvying up the shares amongst the family members, and it's okay if they want to sell or trade them within the family. So the LLC is the most common and simple one. However, I caution you about just setting up your own LLC. Friends, it is going to cost a little bit of money to start a business. That's why not everybody has a small business. And today's business world is so much more complicated than it used to be. We highly recommend our clients. Yes, you can go to the Secretary of State's office and just file your own LLC, but I have seen people have to backtrack when they finally came to us and they messed it up. First of all, they didn't double check that that name isn't being used nearby in another state. Unfortunately, it's public knowledge. There's a fabulous restaurant in Rogers that was called Komodo's, and they filed it with the Secretary of State's office. No one else had ever had a restaurant in Arkansas named Komodo's, but there's a Komodo Asian fusion restaurant in Miami, Florida. And they did not like it that when people Googled their restaurant, it showed Miami, Florida and Rogers, Arkansas. And so you can go to their Facebook, you can read it online. They're having to completely change 3 years in the name of their restaurant because they didn't realize that restaurant in Miami, Florida had a national trademark for Komodo Asian fusion, some association with Asian food. And so don't let that happen to you. Go see a local attorney. We have attorneys and CPAs that do LLC setups for $300 to $700 because filing that piece of paper with the Secretary of State is not enough. It does not protect you. I've seen people get their tax ID number from the IRS before they double check the name, and now the name on their tax ID number is wrong. They can't use that. That takes 6 to 8 weeks to get changed with the IRS. So do reach out to us or someone else you know who has a small business attorney. You're also going to have an operating agreement. That's a private document that shows you're the 100% member manager of the LLC, or 51% you as the woman, and say you have a spouse and he or she is the 49% owner, or 50-50. It's a document that tells who the owners are, what happens if you want to dissolve the business, what happens if one of the members of the business passes away, because that membership interest is a piece of property that can be passed through probate. So an LLC is not as complicated as an S Corp, but you as the business owner need to learn this. You have to learn that you are no longer, like on the right-hand side of the screen, a doing business as. If I start making pageant dresses at my house for my nieces, and they go to pageants, and all these mothers and young women say, I love these dresses. I want your Aunt Martha to make me dresses. And I start and go get some business cards and it says Aunt Martha's Pageant Dresses. That's just me doing business as. I haven't formed an LLC. There's not a lot of liability like a food business or a lawn care business or a house cleaning business where you go in people's houses. I can just be a DBA. I can go to the county courthouse, which you're supposed to, and file for $25 a little DBA certificate and tell Washington County I'm making pageant dresses in my back bedroom. And my DBA is Aunt Martha's Pageant Dresses, right? And I can set up a separate DBA bank account at the bank versus having a formal business account with the LLC paperwork and the tax ID number, which Trish will talk to you a little bit about in a little bit when she talks about those bank accounts, because you always want to separate your business income so you're ready to file your taxes come spring. But the DBA side means if someone got mad at me and said that my dress didn't get delivered on time and they lost a pageant and they sued me in small claims court, I'm going to be all responsible for it. Whereas if it's the LLC, I'm signing all the contracts. Martha Londagin, member manager of Aunt Martha's Pageant Dresses LLC, then the only thing at risk is the business. So you need to learn how to operate yourself and wear the two hats, individual with social security number and member manager as the owner operator of a limited liability company. That limits your liability. It means if you're operating the business as the business owner, the member manager, and you're following the rules of having the contracts and everything that you do in the business name, if you get sued and you lose, then your personal assets are not at risk. Also, if you are a risky business that needs insurance, like a food truck, a nail salon, a clothing store, your business insurance company is going to require you to have an LLC. And it's not hard. Anyone can learn to do this, but you can't just open a business and not understand this process. And we have lots of great small business attorneys and CPAs on our team to help you understand what that becomes. Notice on the right-hand side, partnerships are rare now. Why would you just enter a partnership with someone and have all that personal liability when you can very easily and inexpensively set up an LLC and learn that process? Once again, build your team with an attorney and an accountant, and then learn how to start separating the income and the expenses from your personal self with the business, because then you're going to need to be prepared to file tax returns in the spring. Sometimes it can be as simple as adding a Schedule C to your personal return, but as the business begins to grow and earn income, especially if it's an LLC, you might want the accountant to then have your LLC declared as an S Corp for taxing purposes. I have people call all the time and say, my Uncle Bob told me I need to do an S Corp because that has better tax advantages. Well, Uncle Bob obviously has never owned a business, because you don't have to set up an LLC, an S Corp. You can set up an LLC, and then as it grows and there's more income and you want to maybe make yourself an employee or have full-time employees, your accountant can apply to the IRS for S Corp status. So I hope this convinces you that local small business attorneys and accountants are affordable. You have to build a team and build the foundation for your business, either if you're taking it to the next level or you're starting it up. Licenses and taxes. You're going to have to check with local licensing boards. If you're going to open a barber shop, you're going to have to contact the city or county, depending where you are, to have a business license. You need to operate legally. If you're seeking a loan, the bank's going to want to make sure that you're operating legally. Zoning. Just because you own your house does not mean you can operate a small business out of your home. There are even housing additions in Northwest Arkansas now that say you can't have a home office. None, zero, zip. And the reason for that is they don't want a bunch of FedEx trucks and UPS trucks coming through their neighborhood, picking up and delivering goods that you've got stored in your garage for your online business. So you got to check zoning laws. You're going to need an EIN tax number from the IRS, and you want to make sure the name is legitimate and you can use that name before you apply for that. In Arkansas, the taxing entity is the DFA, the Department of Finance and Administration. You're going to have to get a sales and use tax permit. Do you need to charge sales tax? I don't know. I'm not going to give you tax advice, but I will give you a list of small business CPA attorneys who will tell you Yes, you have to do sales tax this time. No, you don't have to do sales tax that time. The laws are very complicated. Think about when you go to the eye doctor. I go to my eye doctor, Dr. Megan, and when I go in Dr. Megan's office, she has sunglasses, just fancy sunglasses for sale, right? Non-prescription. If I buy a pair of those, I pay sales tax. But when I get my glasses that I need to see that are prescription, they're just like $650, no sales tax. Why is that? Because there's special laws in Arkansas that say if it's for prescription glasses, no sales tax. But if it's just fancy Gucci sunglasses, sales tax. So you have to learn the sales and use tax rules. Permits from the health department, if it's food, if it's anything that has to do with the human body, you got to make sure you can get those permits. Record keeping. Even if you are just starting out with a very simple business, like Martha's Pageant Dresses, the best thing in the world would be for me to go to someone like Trish at Bank OZK and set up a little side business account. Aunt Martha's Pageant Dresses, DBA. Just set it up. It's still just my social security number. And from now on, put the money that the mothers and the young women pay me to make the pageant dresses in that account, get a set of checks or a debit card, and every time I buy material and sparkles and beads and all of that, pay for it out of that account. So at the end of the year, I have a clear record of how much income it earned and what all the expenses are. And then I can even write myself a check personally from that account to reimburse myself for mileage. And I'll want to keep a document to prove that I went to Tulsa to measure a girl for a dress or to attend a pageant, and document the distance and put that in my records. Even very simple records like that are very important. I hear people say all the time, oh, I keep 3 years tax records. My husband and I have a small business. We have one of the best small business CPAs in Northwest Arkansas. He's done all my dad's businesses, and he tells me that you need to keep them up to 10 years. The IRS can audit back as far as it wants. It can go all the way back in time. So we keep 10 years of all of our receipts, everything that my husband spends money on when he's traveling, everything I spend on office supplies for the business, anything we do, we have a file that we keep those records in. Insurance, sure, if I'm doing Martha's Pageant Dresses out of my house, there's very little liability that I might hurt someone, but I better contact my home insurance provider and tell them that I have young girls coming to my house to get fitted for their dresses. One, I better have checked and made sure that I can do that where I live, because that's probably not allowed. If it's a city in Northwest Arkansas, you are not supposed to have customers and clients come to your home if your home is deemed residential. And then that becomes a liability. What if someone slips and fall? Like when we had Snowmageddon, someone needed to come get fitted for their dress, but they slipped and fell. My home insurance would deny that because I didn't tell them when I got that house insurance in 2011 that I was going to operate a business out of it. So you begin to see there's lots of bits and pieces. Obviously, if you have a food business or a public store, you've got to have liability insurance. If you have employees, you need to have workers' comp. Business interruption experience can be very important if you have coolers full of food. If you're, and the business interruption insurance is important, just not for weather problems or electricity going out or anything like that. But the point is you need that insurance to keep your employees paid, right? If the store gets shut down for 2 weeks because the electricity's out because there was a fire or something like that, maybe you don't have goods that perish, especially if it's a clothing store, but you need that interruption insurance so you can have payroll to keep paying your employees so you don't lose all your employees who can't keep waiting and waiting for the store to reopen. Key person insurance, life insurance, if it's a higher level business and you're getting a big loan and you have a partner, if I go into business with my sister and she's running half the business and I'm running half and we got this $300,000 loan at a local bank, I'm probably going to have a life insurance policy on her so that if she passed away, I could buy out her interest from her children, because that operating agreement's going to say that she owns 50% and I own 50%. So if she dies, I'm going to have to buy out her interest from someone, from her heirs. She's just not going to let me have the business because she accidentally passed away. She would want that to go to her kids. So you can have insurance policies on each other. Personnel, 1 employee, 1 headache. 2 employees, 2 headaches. 3 employees, 3 headaches. That's what my dad always said about business. So you need to learn Arkansas employment law. And one of the things that we recommend to small business owners when they're first operating their business is either sit down with a HR professional, and we have people we can refer you to, accountants to help you understand payroll, or hire a local staffing company. The beauty of a staffing company is if you need a receptionist for your business and you're going to pay him or her $15 an hour, you can go to a staffing company and instead you're going to send them about $20 an hour, but they take care of all the hiring, all the firing, all the payroll. They help you learn how to be an employer of employees. You can call them up and say, hey, that guy you sent yesterday, he cannot talk on the phone. He's absolutely terrible on the phone. Send us someone else. And they'll be like, okay. And you don't have to deal with the hiring and firing. And there are very special laws about that. If you're going to have employees, you have got to have an employee handbook. It's got to be very clearly spelled out, all the hiring and firing and operational practices, or you will lose any unemployment claim if that person quits or you fire them. So the staffing company is a great way to start that. And I work with clients on that a lot when their business is growing and they're starting to add employees. Home-based business issues. I'm going to bring this up a lot because we are seeing a big growth in home-based insurances, home-based businesses in Northwest Arkansas. 1, you better double check with your home insurance if you weren't operating that business there when you started. 2, if it's in the city limits of Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, Siloam Springs, or Bentonville, you better make sure you're actually able to do that. Every city has different rules and regulations about that. Every city. The city of Elkins has a very complex requirement issue about home-based businesses. So they're all very different and you need to check on it because you need to be operating your business legally. Make some decisions early on with your business. If you start your business with your personal cell, do you want that being out in the public? Maybe you need to go check about adding a second line. I added a second line to my personal cell when I went to work at Startup Junkie Foundation, and it only cost me $31 a month to add a 479 number to my phone. So you might want to think about that. P.O. boxes are great, but when you set up your Google business box, you have to put in your actual physical address so Google will send searches to your area, from your area. And you can hide that on the public Google My Business listing. So understand the difference between having a P.O. box and a physical address. You want to have that in your Google business listing, even if you are operating a home-based business and you go out and meet people at coffee shops or you go to their homes to do the work. You want to have your physical address so when they type in lawn care, pageant dresses, Northwest Arkansas, Google sends them to your website. Marketing your business is very, very important. And I will tell you, in this modern day and age, I teach seminars about it. I started teaching people small business social media marketing in 2012 when people didn't do it a lot. It is absolutely vital, and you need to learn to do it correctly. Just having a Facebook page, just having an Instagram, the followers, even if people follow your pages, they don't see your posts if you don't learn to post engaging content. And we teach seminars. I'm teaching one at the end of April in this Her series. So check out our calendar of events. I'm doing one on social media marketing for the woman entrepreneur. I do these seminars and webinars about social media marketing in Northwest Arkansas for small businesses all the time. You've got to sit down and pick a channel that you like and learn good social media marketing skills because it is absolutely vital in Northwest Arkansas. And you need to have a website. And you can set up a website yourself on Wix, on Squarespace, with Google, but you need to have certain basic elements in that. So be reaching out online and finding classes to take or check with us here at Startup Junkie. I help people with small business marketing plans. Morgan does as well. Taylor does. We are here to help you with that. But you need to have at base a website for your business with the basic info, contact, about you. You need to have at least one social media platform. You will hear from millennials all the time that Facebook is dead. Not in Northwest Arkansas if you have a business and want to make money. I'm telling you, it's not dead. I've worked with 3 business owners so far this year that I have talked them into getting more active on Facebook, not just on Instagram, and they have all 3 in the last month told me they have seen increased sales. I had one business owner tell me she got the biggest contract she's ever gotten in 2 years of operating her home-based business because of a Facebook post. So do not ignore Facebook. So you're going to need to have an advertising budget if you're setting up your business. We can help you estimate that at Startup Junkie. If you need to hire someone, we have local. Please, please do not hire a website development company on the internet who's based in California or Texas. Please reach out and find someone locally that you can talk to that will help you with this, that will train you. It's absolutely vital. Logo, colors, just like the name, you must do a whole bunch of research and make sure someone else does not already have that same logo trademark or nationally use that name. People have Google search alerts set up for their name, and they will find you, just like the terrible, unfortunate incident that we've all seen on the news about Komodo and Rogers. They're going to be great. It's a fabulous restaurant. People love it. They're doing a slight name change, but they're having to do that because someone in Miami, Florida came after them because they have a national trademark for that name. So don't let that happen to you. Taxes, talked to you already. You've got to go meet with a small business bookkeeper, CPA, or attorney, CPA, accountant. You must understand sales and use tax. And just calling Little Rock and talking to someone on the phone and getting some advice is not going to be enough. Saying, I didn't understand when you get audited, or I didn't know I needed to pay taxes on that, the IRS is not going to listen to that. If you are a business owner, you must understand when you have to collect sales tax, when you have to pay it to the state of Arkansas. If you're doing online sales, there are software programs you can get, but you have to understand in what states you have to collect sales tax and how to remit that sales tax. So you must meet with some professional to help you. Like I said, we have small business accountants in Northwest Arkansas who will help you at very reasonable rates. Nobody gets to start a small business for nothing. You're going to have to spend a little bit of money to build the foundation and do it properly so you can sleep at night, so you can legally grow, so you can approach a bank in the future like Bank OZK, one of our local community banks, to get a loan to grow. You must make sure your taxing situation is set up properly. So we're talking a few hours of meetings, maybe $500 to $1,000 to set up the entire bookkeeping system and the financial base and the taxing base for your business. And now we're to our section on banking, having a business checking account. A business account where income comes in and income goes out. And I saved this part to this section to show you and to have Trish come on from Bank OZK to show you how having a well set up bank account is going to be part of that foundational base. You're going to have the proper incorporation documents for your LLC, your articles of organization, your operating agreement. You're going to have a tax ID number from the IRS, and all of that's going to match, and it's going to be done properly. And then you can go meet with Trish to open a separate business checking account. Or if you're one of those very, very low risk, smaller income, home-based businesses, you could get your DBA certificate from the county, which is a one-page document. You would have your ID, your social security number, and could set up a little DBA checking account at that lower level. So all of these banks in Northwest Arkansas, these community banks have POS systems, the payment system for you. They can teach you how to not mingle your personal funds in your separate personal account with your business account. And over, we tell you to get someone in person to help you with this. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing and turn the screen over to Trish, who, like I said before, is a Vice President Business Development Officer with Bank OZK, and her bank location is out on Weddington Drive in Fayetteville, Arkansas. All right, Trish, we can see your slides.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks for having me this morning. I'm excited to be here and share information about Bank OZK with all of you. Like Martha had said, she shared a lot of great information, very important, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about our accounts and other services that we offer. We're located in, well, I'm located in Northwest Arkansas, but we do have branches in several different states. But even though we are a large bank, we still focus on our communities. We started as a small community bank. We've grown over the years as one of the top performing banks in the nation 13 times over the past 8 years. But we feel it's important to be the kind of bank where people like to do business and where people like to work. And we have a strong commitment to our communities as well. We love small businesses because we love to be a part of your journey. We love to watch you grow and help you build along the way as well. And so I'm here to kind of talk about our different products and services that we have. And as you grow, like I said, we have those business needs to help you adapt as you grow. And so we have several different types of business accounts. Our most popular for starting out is our small business checking, and that can be used for your LLCs, your DBAs, and even corporations. So basically, it's very simple to open, just $100 minimum opening balance, and we do have free items per month. So you have 250 items per month that can clear that account. So what that means is any item, a debit card transaction, a check that has written, electronic transaction, a deposit, those are considered items that clear the account. And so you have up to 250 items free at no cost per month. And so usually that's a lot of items, so that usually covers everything in that business account. But if for some reason, that business goes over a month, it's only 50 cents extra, for each item that you go over. But you don't have to worry about minimum balances or monthly service fees. We have great online services and bill pay. It is a non-interest bearing account as well. Most of our business accounts are non-interest bearing. But as you grow, we also have other accounts that could fit your needs as well. And so I have all of those listed on the slide. So some of the benefits that come with our checking accounts, we have remote deposit capture, which is a fabulous feature if you get checks or your business, you need to deposit, but sometimes you just don't have time to make a trip to the bank. So we do have a remote deposit capture feature that's available. We have the online banking, online bill pay, electronic statements. One of my favorite things are the instant issue debit cards. We issue a debit card right here at our branch locations, at every single branch location. So when you open your account, you get your debit card when the account is open. We have mobile banking. We have merchant processing, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later too. That's another one of my favorites. Accepting credit cards, because there's so much more to that, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But when you do come in to open your account, like Martha had said, it's important to make sure that you have all of your proper documentation, because as a bank, we're required to collect certain documents depending on what type of business that you have. So as you can see, I've got it listed here, the required documents needed for each particular type of account. So if you are just a sole proprietor doing business as, if you have that fictitious name certificate, please bring that in with you. But basically all we would need on that is, if it's under your social, we need your information as well as your social security number, and we get that set up. It's a pretty simple, easy process on that. When we get into our LLCs and our corporations, of course, we need the articles and the certificate of formation. We need to know beneficial ownership information. We need to know who that control person is, and we need to know the percentages of who has beneficial ownership. And then, depending upon the percentages, we may need to collect information on those individuals as well who have beneficial ownership. So it's very important to make sure when you come into the bank, even if it's not with us, if you come into the bank to open an account, that you have all of your documentation, the tax ID number. The bank will pull to ensure that you're in good standing with the state as well. So like Martha said, just make sure you have all of your documentation, because that's going to make your account opening process go smoothly and quickly for you. So the information that we would need on individuals on the account, obviously we would need their name, date of birth, social security number. We would need a physical address. We can use a P.O. box for mailing, but we are required to maintain a physical address as well. And the phone number, email address, tax ID of the business, legal name of the business, what type of business it is. And then we'll also talk about the general nature of the business so that we can learn more about your business, so we can help you decide what extra features, would benefit you. So we have features such as treasury management, which is also considered cash management. It can be called two different things depending on, what you're familiar with. But there's so many services in this. You have, depending upon your business need, the mobile services, the online banking services. You can sign up for ACH services to where, you can pay vendors online. You can do your own wires from your office instead of having to go to the bank and fill out a form. We have positive pay to help fraud prevention and minimize risk. Positive pay, I can't stress how important that is. We all have insurance on things such as our cars, our cell phones, ourselves. So I think of positive pay as kind of like insurance on your checking account, because what positive pay does is that individual with the business will submit a list of either ACHs or checks that they have written that are out there. And so when checks go through the bank to pay, they're compared against that list that is provided to the bank. Anything that doesn't match will kick out for that business owner to review, whether they can mark, this is fraudulent, we didn't write this, just return it, or, this is the check that we had written, I forgot to put it on my sheet, please pay. So that minimizes your risk for fraudulent activity right then and there. So positive pay, I think, is fabulous. If you're going to be writing a lot of checks or you have ACH, I highly recommend it. So, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. I got excited about positive pay. But it's a very simple process to use. Like I said, you just upload a file to our treasury management department. There's also a phone number that's directly to them. They're a great department that helps and assists our business customers with any questions that they may have. Merchant services is my other favorite that I love to talk about, because we understand that your needs for your customers, your businesses, they constantly change. And in order to continue to grow your business, you have to change and adapt. So our merchant services, we partner with First Data, Fiserv, and they are one of the largest companies. They help small businesses up to large corporations, and they are so much more than just credit card processing. We've got in-store processing, mobile processing, your online processing, and personal services where you can keep your customers coming back to you. I know personally I'm a big rewards fan. I like to go visit the places where I get rewards, because I know when I keep coming back, I'm either going to get a discount or something, So a lot of clientele, they like those rewards. So rewards is one of the easiest ways that you can market your services, you can build those customer relationships, and you can keep those customers coming back to you. It connects you to them directly with your mobile phone, so you can send them specials and rewards. And that that continues to keep your business growing, because they're probably going to tell their friends, hey, I've got this great rewards app. You need to get this and go visit this business. And, you know, that's going to help your business grow. But our merchant services is fantastic. So don't just automatically sign up for Square because it's easy. You know, talk to us. We would love to help you. We have a local representative, and he is fantastic. He meets with customers either at their business or at the branch on the phone. He is fantastic. So, you know, please give us a chance on your merchant services. We would love to help. But if you have any questions, my name is Trish McCollum. I'm the Business Development Officer. And then Odwin Vaughn is our market president. So it was a pleasure to talk with you today, and I'd be happy to help with any questions. Thank you so much, Martha.
Okay, thank you, Trish. Yeah, if you'll just unshare your screen, thank you so much. And if some of you have come on since we started, once again, all of my slides in a PDF for this session from 9 to 10. We're going to be back on at noon for just networking. Come on with Morgan and just talk to other women. We'd love it if you're from different places around the country. We just want you to tell your business idea, and you don't have to talk if you want. If you just want to watch the women network and talk in general. And then from 4 to 5, I'll be back on with Lance Sexton, who is just an expert small business loan officer with Bank OZK. I've known Lance for years and years and years. He helped train me in SBA lending at my old bank. And so we'll be doing that from 4 to 5. And then first thing tomorrow morning, Caleb will send out all of the slide decks that you've seen today. And there's also going to be a recording showing you how to go to our YouTube if you have friends you want to share this with. And you can always go to our site, startupjunkie.org, I showed you earlier, and click Meet with Us. And then we can get you a meeting. There's no way we can give you a to-do list of how to start a business. We have to get to know you. We have to know where you are. As I said in the beginning, if you've never, ever done that kind of business before, we're going to talk about you getting some experience and how to get ready to launch that kind of business, right? If you're in the middle of it and revenue's coming in and you're ready to maybe make yourself an employee, that's a different discussion. There's a question in the chat. Someone said, when should you declare your LLC as an S Corp? That's an accounting question, and you need to talk to your accountant. I will tell you, with our small business, my husband and I started, we just did the first year, income in, kept track of expenses. We had the LLC set up, and we just did distributions to ourselves as the owners. And after a year, we trusted it enough that I went to an accountant and spent several hours and learned how to do payroll. And we made my husband an employee. So now he's himself, a business owner, and an employee, and then our accountant applied to the IRS and set it up as an S Corp. But I don't know what your income levels are. I don't know when your accountant's going to advise that. At some point, you're going to have to start prepaying the taxes. You can't wait until March 15th when the business returns due to tell the IRS, oh yeah, we had a $100,000 net profit. Not going to work. The IRS will start wanting payments quarterly. That's why, once again, you've got to have a base. You need a business consultant, somebody like us, to help you get launched. You need a small business attorney. You need a CPA, and you may need a marketing person if you're not techie and don't know how to do website stuff. And you've got to have a bank that can grow with you, that can help you open that first account and then grow that account and then maybe go get a loan from them. You've got to have that big base, and then your insurance agent. So, you know, reach out to us for an appointment to maybe learn more. Now I want to announce, I've been texting Caleb, and the first gift card of the day that we're giving away due to the Bank OZK sponsorship is to a woman-owned business locally, Baked by Corey. And in fact, I went 2 Saturdays ago and visited Corey right outside here. She has her first booth at the Fayetteville Farmers Market. Her cookies are incredible. And the winner of that is Christina Cash. And yes, Christina, you're still on. Yay. And Christina, we have your email. And when this is over, I'm going to email you, and I'm going to CC Corey. Corey's already been paid with our sponsorship, and she will correspond with you and send you to her website so you can pick out your cookies, and then she will arrange with you to send them. So if you come back on at noon, Morgan is going to give away cookies to from Cakes with a Kick. And that is a home-based cookie and cake business out of Elkins with Gail Schlief, who's one of my clients. And then today at 4, I will give away another $40 gift card to Florence and Flint Cookies, which is Morgan Troxel out of Bentonville, Arkansas. So if you haven't won already, come to all 3 sessions and you can win a cookie. Caleb, I want to double check you've got Christina's email.
Sure do.
Okay, so Christina, I will send you an email. I'm going to go back to the presentation and get us wrapped up with a few final slides. And once again, you will get a copy of this from us via your email later today. And so the last session I'm going to share, and if some of y'all need to get off. Can everybody see my slideshow again? Yes? Okay. Sorry. I got to get back where I was. I don't know why it's being so cranky for me. Sorry. There we go. Can everybody see? All right. So we're back on the one that says banking. So as your business grows, there are all different ways to finance the business. Most people start out with their personal savings. There can be loans from friends and family, but we're going to advise you to get an attorney to do a note, even if it's with your Aunt Sally. There are equipment leasing company options, and we're going to discuss this a lot more in depth at the 4 o'clock section. This is just a basic overview. Some of you don't need funding, some of you do need funding. So we're going to discuss nothing but loan funding options at the 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock section, but I'll just like to kind of briefly mention it here. Main thing, do not sign a lease. Do not sign a contract to buy product until you know you have enough funding. And maybe you think you do, but please do reach out to someone like us at Startup Junkie Foundation or the Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, or go see Trish and have her get you an appointment with a loan officer. Make sure you've got proper funding before you sign any contracts. And the bank will not finance 100%. There are no such thing as grants to start a small business. You've heard about grants in the past year to help businesses survive COVID. Those are special, rare creatures we have never seen before, all right? Grants are from the government or foundations to help nonprofits, 501c3 status groups that provide a public service, a public good. You starting a small business so you can make money and be successful is not something the government provides grants for. Now, like I said, during COVID, we had these special grants to help businesses survive, but you're going to have to self-fund to get started and build up your credit and build up your business so you can approach a bank about getting a loan. We also have micro lenders in the area. I run a micro lending program that crowdfunds very small loans through the Kiva program that is partially supported by the Walton Family Foundation. We have Communities Unlimited and Forge, they're local micro business lenders. So we can help you build that ladder, or if you already have a good credit score and you have some banking background and your business is starting to perform, we want you to go talk to a loan officer at Bank OZK or another local community bank. The SBA loans are backed by the federal government. And so those programs that the banks offer, SBA loans through the local bank, makes the banks more likely to lend because they're backed by the government. Just like when you hear about VA home loans, they're backed by the government. It makes the bank more likely to lend to you. And so the loan rates are really low right now because the government's wanting us to stimulate the economy. SBA loans are prime plus 275, so they're usually around 5 or 6% right now, but they will go up in time. Sometimes they go up to 7%, 8%. That's because small business loans are risky. Don't ever go to a bank thinking you're going to get the same interest rate for your business loan that you got offered on your home loan. Okay, home loans are very low risk. They involve land, and in Northwest Arkansas, that's very valuable. And they offer that great collateral of the home and the land if the loan were to fail. So that's something we can help you with at Startup Junkie to get you mentally prepared to understand business loans versus personal loans that you maybe have had experience with. These SBA loans also have a small fee associated with them, and that keeps the Small Business Administration, which is a corporation owned by the U.S. government, operating. But the bank can help you to fund that fee as well if that's possible. It's not a big fee. It's 3% of the guaranteed portion that the bank gets, which is usually 75%. But oftentimes that's the only way a startup can get a loan, because they're very, very risky. You can be the nicest person in the world. You can even have the world's best credit score, but small business loans are risky. So you have to learn the process and talk to a loan officer, and we can help get you ready for that conversation at Startup Junkie. Bottom line, whatever it's going to cost you, I talked to you earlier about those startup costs, whatever all those startup costs are that are put together, you're going to have 10% cash down, which you put into the business first, and then the bank loans the rest. Depending on what kind of business it is, how risky it is, how big a project, it could even be 15 or 20%. And so we can help you make a plan to get that saved up, to get ready. But you might have equipment that you can title in the business name that's already paid for that helps with that 10%. So there are lots of different aspects to this. Banks do have in-house loans also, which often have lower interest rates. If you have a better credit score, if you already have some equity in your home that you own, if you have some collateral or have someone who will co-sign for you that is very financially stable, there's a possibility. And that's why you need to have conversations with your community bankers to see which kind of loan is best for you. Formal business plan, you will need to approach a bank for a loan. We at Startup Junkie have templates. We can help provide you that. The Small Business Center at the U of A that I talked to you about earlier can help you make cash flow projections for 2 to 3 years.
So sorry to
Hey,
interrupt.
Marta, we're not seeing a slide. I don't know
Oh,
if
you're not seeing
we're
the
not
slide.
seeing nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just say good
I thought you
morning.
were. I'm so sorry. Hang on. What are you all seeing? Which
Okay,
one?
now we're not seeing anything, so I think you need to share your screen again.
Okay.
Okay, start. There we are.
I'm so sorry.
No, I think it like kicked you out or something.
Holler at me anytime. So you didn't see any of these since Trish quit?
No, it was on, and then
Okay.
I think it like kicked it off. I don't know.
All right. So I was here. Okay. Formal business plan elements. Do y'all see that? Yes? Yep. All right. So this is a formal business plan. I'm not going to show you a complete one. They can be pretty lengthy, but when you're going to a bank for larger loans, you know, $25,000, $50,000 to start the business or to grow the business, they're going to need this market analysis. That's market research that the Small Business Center at the U of A, we can connect you with those folks to get you. You're going to need to have a financial plan, which is the cash flow projections, where you estimate for the food truck how much your sales will be for lunch and dinner, what your expenses will be, what the insurance is, what the spot rental fee is for where you're going to park the truck, what the payments are to workers, etc. And you're going to have those projections for a bank, and we'll talk about this even more in depth this afternoon, so that the bank knows that you will be able to make the monthly payment if you get approved for this loan. So this is a more formal business plan that you're going to have, especially if you are in a high growth mode. You should have it regardless for yourself to be a good business owner, or especially if you're going to seek a loan. All right, and that is the end of the formal presentation, and you will get a copy of all of these slides to kind of digest this information. and it'll have my contact info. And once again, we want to thank Bank OZK for sponsoring this Her Entrepreneur series that will be going on all year. So check back at the end of April. We're going to have a Her Entrepreneur program that I'm going to present about social media marketing for the woman in business. So we'd love to have you attend that. And come late May, June, we're working on the date right now. We're going to have a live networking event at the Fairlane Station in downtown Springdale, and would love to just come come and have something to eat, have a glass of wine, have a Coke, meet some other women business owners, folks from all over the region, and some of our Bank OZK people will be there. And so we would love to have you come to that. So go to startupjunkie.org, click events anytime, or follow us on Facebook, and you'll see all of these Her Entrepreneur Journey series that we'll do. And I think we have, either I have or Caleb has answered all the questions in the chat. And so you can reach out to us anytime if you have further questions to get you with everyone. And so, sorry I had the slide share problem for a minute. We really appreciate everyone coming on, and we are here to support you. And hopefully we'll see you at noon with Morgan for the networking event, noon to 1. Same link, same Zoom link. Thank you, everyone.